Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Blake 7 podcast, brought to you by Tin Dog Podcasts, the summer of Blake 7, or whatever you want to do. Look, I hope you're having a nice summer, and I hope that these little chats that we're having are helping you through those long, hot, sultry, kind of boring days. Mission to Destiny. Yes, it's a great title for a pretty lousy story. Not one of my favourites at all. The Federation itself is merely seen as some sort of lurking background baddie. After the events of last time's story, there's no Servalan. In fact, if anything, this story is a combination of two things. One, an old-style Star Trek episode, and two, an Agatha Christie plot. It's kind of Midsummer Murders in space, but not quite. It's more of a low-rent Poirot. The Liberator come across a Galaxy-class cruiser. The Ortega. Now it's going round and round in circles, and it's helpless in space. Avon and Callie nip across to find out that the pilot of the ship has been murdered. Now, you've seen the murder as an audience member in the first few minutes of the episode, and it's the bloke out of Coronation Street who was the serial killer a few years ago, in a time when I used to watch such things. But not only has he been murdered, he's left a scrawled thing with some numbers on it, in his own blood, which is very nice. And everyone else on board has been rendered unconscious. You don't know this at all. When you're watching this, you're going, why is everyone yawning? Are you as bored as we are? Well, I suppose you might be, but it's very unprofessional. And then you go, oh no, it's meant to happen. Eventually they turn the air back on, and everyone starts waking up. And on board the ship is a bunch of, some people, one of whom has to be the murderer, of course. And the spaceship is actually on a mission. Their home planet has some sort of fungal infection. That's the second fungal infection in 3 programs. What's going on? Terry, did you need to tell us something? Was this your way of working through some issues? In fact, is that what this story was about? Did you have some sort of nail fungal infection, and you sent someone to the shops to get it, and they had a massive excuse about why they were late or didn't bring it? Is that what both of these stories are about? I suspect not, but you never know. Inspiration comes from any quarter. So, they're on their way back to their own planet, which happens to be called Destiny, hence the excuse for the really cool title of the episode. They're bringing home something to kill the fungus that's killing the plant life and thus return the whole planet back to normal and save the day. This antifungal cream obviously costs an absolute fortune, hence the reason that A, they're rushing back, and B, it's worth a lot of money, so somebody's going to murder someone for it. So, here's the big flaw in the plot. Blake, with his ridiculously fast spaceship, says, right, I've got a really fast spaceship. You need to get this fungal treatment to the foot on your planet as fast as possible. Would you, A, offer everyone a lift, including the Nutritope thing, so that everyone could be there in 4 days, rather than the months and months it's going to take the ordinary spaceship? Or would you go, there's been a murder on board ship, we'll take a few people and do the delivery, and then you can investigate the murder? Obviously for narrative reasons it's the second one. Obviously for narrative reasons it's pointless. The fate of an entire planet is much more important than catching one pointless murderer. Because this episode is so incredibly boring, they decide to go through a meteorite storm, which of course drains the energy banks. Those energy banks are always draining. But during the storm, the container holding the Nutritope moves slightly and then drops on the floor. Checking for damage, Blake finds out he's been given an empty box. So they have to turn around and go back again. Now, if everyone had got on board with the container and they'd all checked that it was there, this wouldn't have happened either. And they could have gone round the meteorite shower. But let's not hold that against the writers, shall we? Well, maybe we should. Meanwhile, Inspector Avon is trying to sort out this message left by the pilot in his own blood. And it finds out that it wasn't a code. Oh no, it was just really bad handwriting. But I suppose if you're bleeding to death, you're allowed to have a few excuses when it comes to penmanship. You find out who the murderer was. And I'm not going to spoil it, because I know you might not have watched this for ages. You've probably forgotten. But this is a watch-along podcast, so go away and watch it. Don't just listen to me ramble. Avon orchestrates something and we find out who they are. Meanwhile, the Liberators turned up and can take everybody back. Everyone slaps their thigh and has a laugh. Oh yeah, and the murderer is taken out in some strange way. Well, that's not important. What is important is that this is just a bit dull. Of course, I could talk about how cool Avon is and his great lines, but you know what? It's just not a brilliant episode. It's just a bit boring. It's kind of mid-season filler, to use a Star Trek fan phrase. And yes, it has got the bloke who does K9's voice in it, John Leeson. It's all pretty good. It should have some nice bits, but it's just not my cup of tea. So I'm going to go away now and watch more Blake 7 and then report back. So until next time, be seeing you. You've been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast, available on RSS, iTunes, Stitcher, Audio Boom and Tumblr. Doctor Who and its associated works are copyright of the BBC. No infringement is intended. You can contact the show, donate, buy merchandise or find out more about my other projects by visiting the Tin Dog Podcast homepage and clicking on the links. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. On the 5th of September 2015, Hooverville will return. The biggest little Doctor Who convention in the whole of the UK is proud to present several fantastic guests. First off is the Colin Baker, a man who needs absolutely no introduction. Guests also include the author Jenny Colgan, responsible for Dark Horizons and Time Trips, Richard Marson, the man behind JNT, The Life and Scandalous Times, and the brand new book Drama and Delight, the biography of Verity Lambert, Dan Starkey, the man behind the mask when it comes to Commander Strax, and of course Ian the Elf in the Christmas special, Terence Dix, one of the men behind the Third Doctor and more Target novelisations than you can shake a stick at, the actor David Benson, from Robot of Sherwood, Iris Wildtime and the Scarifiers, Matthew Waterhouse, yes, Adrake, Michael Pickwood, the current production manager on Doctor Who, and Karen Louise Hollis, author of The Man Behind the Master, the biography of Anthony Ainley. More guests may be added, but either way, that's a fantastic lineup. Visit the Derby Quad website on www.derbyquad.co.uk and follow the links. Saturday the 5th of September 2015. See you there.
Snyder.